All right, lads, welcome back to another viewing of the Daily Close, where we show our favorite, the crowd favorite, technical analysis. And here we'll be going through three of our projects of choice. We'll show you where you can possibly make some money, where you can avoid the pitfalls and losing money, and just give you an overall update of the market. So as always, we're not financial advisors, so please just use our videos as a start for your own research before you yeet any money into the market. And of course, if you could please give us a like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. You can be the first to see when our videos come up. If you can also give us a comment below of what coins you like us to cover, we'll be happily be able to do it for you. We'll always try to engage if you engage with us as well. But without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Gojo. He's going to go through BTC.
Thank you very much, Crypto-pleb. Great. So I really want to talk about Bitcoin. I think we're coming off of a little bit of a hangover period after we hit our all-time high a couple of days ago. I wanted to specify, I guess when I'm looking at these charts at the moment, I wanted to make it, or at least not make it, but share what I think is happening in terms of the direction where we're going. I'm looking at the 4-hour chart right now, and what I drawn here is this rising wedge. What we can see and what we know about rising wedges is if we break out of it, typically it's an indication that we might be going down. We've broken down of this resistance actually just today, or no, maybe last night. And what is this telling us is there's probably a chance that we might be consolidating here for a little bit. Although what I am seeing in terms of volume is that compared to the last few days, volume has been slightly up. What we know is with higher volume means less volatility. The other thing about this, the reason why I think we might be continuing or at least staying below this resistance or hovering around the 60K mark is because we've also dropped below our 20-day EMA. And actually, it's been the first time since about the beginning of October since we've seen this. And during that time, we stayed underneath the EMA for a while. I know that doesn't sound like a lot of good news. We broke up from this resistance here. We've now used this bottom as a support. But if I were to look at this more optimistically, I guess what we can do in this portion of the chart for the last couple of days is it's forming somewhat of a downward wedge. And what I'm seeing here is this sort of shape. Again, as we know, if we break out of this wedge, there's always a chance for us to go upward. But one thing that I am mindful of, in addition to these wedges, is if I were to draw some fibs from down here, oops. We've been testing this 0.236 mark. So just at around 60K 500. We've been bouncing off here. We might retest again before we move upward. But if you guys manage to get in and if you guys manage to sell at the all-time high, I mean, that's really good news. What I'm imagining here is if we keep and if we stay along this downward wedge, we might see us stay or hover, retest the 0.236 a couple more times before we move upward. In short terms, I can't say for certain, which direction we'd be going, but please watch to see whether or not, again, we're moving out of this wedge, if we're testing 0.236 a couple more times, and also if we see any increase or decrease in volume. A decrease in volume will tell us that we're going to probably make a sharp turn either upward or downward. So that's it for me with BTC.
All right, solid. Thank you, Gojo. Let me share my screen real quick. I'm going to just do a quick technical analysis of Ethereum. And yeah, here we go. So what I have in front of me is the weekly chart for Ethereum. It's looking quite good. We have, now I'm looking, when I look at the weekly, it's 7 days a week, right? That's how we typically trade in crypto. This is not the CME chart. And right now we have about 1 day and 20 hours left in this week. If we can maintain this level and close above the previous high, which is 3931, right? So if we can maintain this, I think it'd be good in terms of the weekly. This is to give us basically a higher weekly close, and I think we'll continue on the bullish trajectory. Now, a few things to point out here on the volume profile. You see that the point of control is down about 3,280-ish. And we are in sort of a, hold on a second.
That's my guy. That's my guy right there. When duty calls. When duty calls.
Here we go. Sorry about that. Anyway, so looking back at the weekly close, again, point of control was about 3,280. So we're trending above that. And we are currently in the lower node area. So there's potential to go up or down, just because I think there's less activity and not a lot of historical data. So another thing is we are trending, our volume is about on the weekly level, just below the average. So if you do want to see a breakout, I'm sure we'd have to do a little more activity than the average. And in terms of divergences, there's nothing too big that stands out. It's quite normal. We are in the sort of neutral area, kind of going towards the bullish control zone, and above the moving average. So that's good. One more thing is that we are above the overbought area, about 78. Oh, sorry, about 85. However, the blue line is pointing down, which means that there is momentum sort of going downwards. And in terms of the BBWP, volatility is in the neutral zone around 52%. However, we are pointing upwards. So again, this is agnostic direction. The direction is agnostic. So if it does point up and we do see more volatility in BBWP, then it can swing either up or down. And overall, I think on the weekly, we are trending above all moving averages. This is great. It's amazing, actually. Looking really good. So let me move down to the daily. And for the daily, we are trending above moving averages as well, which is good. See no specific divergences on the RSI. However, we are sort of in a bullish trend, so that's good. And above the moving averages here. It's consistent with, no divergences. That's good. We are in the sort of, still in the bullish control zone. I'd say bullish control zone does typically go above around 60, about 70, 80% still. The purple line is pointing downwards, although the blue line is postulating more of an upward move. The purple line is actually more critical to look at. So, it's not as sensitive as the blue line. So that's something to look at. We are kind of pointing down. So I'm thinking we might actually see further downward movement here. And again, we're actually just, I put a horizontal line in terms of the actual last weekly close. So we're actually using that as support right now, as you can see. Let me just get this moving average out of here. So we're using it as support. And I would say that, in terms of an actual, we're not looking too dangerous right here, because we made, in terms of the actual trend on the daily, we made a high here. Technically, I mean, it's a high here, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And if we can maintain the support here at about 3,930-ish, then we will maintain a higher low. And I think we'll probably maintain the bullish trend. What's important to look at here is, isn't too far back into the sort of historical data. What's important to look at is more recent price action. So if we actually break past, feel anywhere below 3,750, then I would see that as breaking trend and potentially, actually, this one. 3,880, it would give us more of sort of a bearish posture. So that's something to look out for. And volatility is actually in sort of a low percentile, about 10%. So that's going to basically tell us that trend is going to continue as is. There's not going to be any sort of volatile movement in any direction. All right. I don't want to go too long. I feel like I can talk about this forever. But on the 4-hour, we are again using that support. Trend remains bullish. There is no divergences. It's we had a hidden bullish divergence here just a little while ago, but it's not too much. It's just one drive. It's not too much of a divergence. We are still in technically a neutral zone. However, we are trending below the moving average. So not too, I wouldn't say we're too bullish right there. However, in terms of the actual Stokes, we're pointing upwards. So I would say this move is going to probably take us back up until around, could take us back up until about 4,150. And just in terms of the previous high here, we had this sort of dead cat bounce that once we had that massive drop after we didn't hit all-time high, but we had a massive retracement. Here's a previous high, dead cat bounce. I think with the momentum, it's pointing upward. So most likely we're gonna probably get to around a range between 4,050 and 4,170. So if we can, if we can go higher than 4,170, then I think we'd maintain sort of a bullish posturing. Otherwise, I'd say the next level of support is much further down. I would say right here. The previous weekly close, about 3,930, and then below that, 3,881. And again, we'll most likely be within this range. Let me show a parallel channel. If we do break past the support, we'll most likely stay within this range right here for the time being. And I don't think, look at the the volume profile for a bit to identify whether we'll have enough support to maintain this range. And I think we're good. Actually, I think we're good. I don't see us going anywhere below 3,600-ish, 3,670-ish in the near future. If we can maintain activity within this range, then I think we can again stay bullish, and that'd be good. That'd be good. This is the 4-hour though, so I wouldn't say again, higher time frames have more of a higher probability with the actual analysis. Let's look. We are actually trending above the 55 EMA, this purple line. So it's using that as support, but we are, let me just use we are actually in between the 21 and the 12 and the 21, 9, 12, and 21. So I don't know, we might actually play within this range on a short-term time scale. Thinking of lower-term time frames. Let me, hold on guys, I'll finish soon.
All good, man, take your time.
Thank you. So let me show a lower time frame and with different indicators real quickly. So ETH, I talked about playing within this range. It was about 4,000, just about 4,000 to 4,050. And I think right now, all Stokes, I have my Stokes setting based on sensitivity. So the top one is highly sensitive to any sort of movement, whereas the bottom is on sort of a 14 percentile. It's also very smoothed out compared to a different setting I have on the other chart. So this will give me sort of a different reading. But again, the most sensitive Stoke is pointing downwards. So, but the other two Stokes have not actually crossed their line. In fact, the sort of distance between these two lines shows the sort of a divergence. So this one as well. I don't think we're going to be turning down anytime soon. Maybe this is the 45-minute. Even on the, maybe 10-minute as well. We're still sort of close to the overbought area, but we're hovering above 80%, 80 over here. We're probably going to see a downward movement again. And I would say it's probably going to go down, touch the VWAP here. And as you know, the VWAP is volume weighted something percentile. Forgot what the A stands for. But typically we use a VWAP as support, and we're trending above it, which is a bullish thing if you're looking at trading short term. And one other great thing about this is that volatility is very low. So we can potentially see a break down or break up anytime soon. So this is good for sort of day trading, intraday trading. But as you can see, I was actually playing a few short positions here while we made this massive drop, which is quite a good move actually. But you can see that there's a lot of volume here during that time, but then it sort of just disappears, and we're not getting much volume, which, as Gojo mentioned earlier, does equate to more volatility. So we'll probably see sort of a trending trajectory here for ETH on the 10-minute or even the 5-minute. And yeah, I think this is a good sort of a scalping type of setup in case you want to use this. Let's see, pivots. Yeah, I think that's it for me. I don't typically look at the moving averages on the short term, but I mean, maybe for scalping I do. But anyway, that's it for ETH. I think again on sort of weekly and daily, we're quite bullish, but we have sort of overextended ourselves in terms of funding rates and open interest. And I think we were expecting this sort of massive retrace. We're probably going to have, I think overall, we're probably going to have another retrace down to about 3,800, this range that I talked about earlier. So that's something to look out for. But once we form that base and consolidate, then we'll definitely move up. And this is a great time to actually get into altcoins as well, because I don't know, I don't want to go into it too deeply, but I mean, other charts, if you look at Fathom or Sol, AVAX, I mean, they were pumping pretty hard while ETH and Bitcoin were dumping. So that's a great way to hedge risk. And that's it for me.
All right, that's what's up. ETH is a good one, man. That's always a good win.
Love ETH.
But let me jump in mine. Mine's gonna be very, very quick, as I share one of my favorite, VeChain, which I love to shill whenever I get the moment or the chance. But let me just clean this up a little bit. So I mean, I always trade with caution with VET, because I always see a little bit more volatility, and in my experience, I've been burned on this before. But no, just to start, I mean, just recently, so I'm actually on the daily, and on the volume, we've had a couple points where the volume's been going above the average as well. So recently, VET's looking quite good as an altcoin. Perhaps this is maybe just a little bit more confidence is showing within this particular asset. But let's start off with my Bollinger Bands here. And with the Bollinger Bands, we've definitely had a bit of a dump back here. This is back in we all know about May, and May was quite a bloody time. But while we're trading down below that, we finally just jumped above that back in July, back above the 20-day moving average, and now currently we're back above it again. So perhaps we might be seeing a bit more upside. Continuing is what I'm hoping for, as I'm also invested in VET. So I will say I will be bullish for the sense of I want to make money off this too. But just kind of go down through the other indicators. As always, like to show the Ichimoku cloud. Here as well, we've had multiple crosses of the conversion and the baseline. Baseline being white, conversion line being blue. It's been pretty rampant with this particular asset. Right now, fortunately enough, our conversion has passed above the baseline, which is a bullish sentiment. We're also above our green cloud here. Green is for money, but we are not that far away from the red, which is what we'd like to avoid. But I mean, from here, it is looking quite bullish. I mean, even just on the simple chart read, just pull up my little thing here. I mean, yes, we have, we're kind of pumping back up in the short term. We're getting higher lows, slightly higher highs here as well. I'm hoping that this is going to continue for everyone's benefit, including my own. In terms of trend lines, I might be able to draw, some of these probably around here. I mean, I guess we can probably get into this small channel. I mean, we've traded in this channel before, bust above it and then pump down very hard and come right back up. So I'm hoping that we're going to be sticking around here for a little bit longer, and then hopefully we can push up. But it really depends on the volume down here, which is not too spectacular. Also, we see on the RSI, we're kind of coming up. As I said in previous videos, I set mine to 80-40 to allow for more volatility. We are pumping up a little bit closer here. So there is a possibility that it might just dip down and test this support one more time. Let's clean this up again. So last but not least, actually recently, good old Base Buddha showed me CTMAC here as well. You'll also notice here on the daily that VET does have a knack for flirting with the dead cross here. So my blue is 55, and then the purple is my 200 exponential moving average. White is the 200 simplified moving average. Brutally passed through that, which is obviously a big sign for the big dump that occurred here. We did pass up it briefly again before taking another dump again. And in all honesty, we want to see how we're going to, let's get this out of the way, but see how this is going to progress here. I'm hoping that more of these indicators are going to cross above this 200 simplified moving average, which will be another bullish sign that maybe we might be making some bigger moves, needing more money. Of course, trade with caution. Last but not least, just for VET, I'll just end off with the 4-hour quick read here. I'll just keep it on a slower time frame here. Yeah, so in here we see some similar things as well. Obviously, we see with our trend lines here, kind of the flirting of danger that is customary with this asset. But this is acting as support so far. Our volume, we are below the average as well. That means that more volatility, as mentioned before by Gojo, Base Buddha, that lower volume means that it could be a little bit more volatility coming up. So this could really go either way. Just take a closer look at how we're looking at these candles here. Yeah, looks like we had a little bit of buy up, but I got bought. Sell pressures coming back in again, but we still have about 3 hours left of that, of this particular wick here. So it's too early to tell where it might end up. Bollinger Bands as well. At least we're still above the 20-day moving average. So that's definitely a plus as well. Moving down here, maybe I'll just bring up the VPVR as well. Yes, in this short time frame, we don't have a lot of data up here. So, we could bust through, we could not, might not be a lot of confidence that might continue up that area. If we move to back more time, maybe over the, we have more data that's now reviewing now. Yeah, we still have, seems to be pretty equidistant buying and selling volume here. So, I mean, I think we might have a bit more consolidation before we try to make a decision of where we might want to go. But yeah, there is a good chance it might pop down a little bit further. If it goes down to the point of control, then we're probably looking at a potential loss of about 8% is possible. But I mean, over the past number of weeks here, we are making higher lows. So we still want to keep that in mind. We're also not punching too far above the 80 on my RSI as well here too. So we still have room to go. So that gives me a little bit more confidence. Again, with my favorite Ichimoku cloud as well. We have already on the 4-hour passed above my baseline as well. So that's nice to see. but as we can see here, this is my change line, conversion line is starting to level out a little bit. So need to have a little bit of prayer for this. And then finally, taking on here as well, we are trading, oh boy, just these death crosses. I swear VeChain just loves it. But we are starting to get almost above all of the moving averages here. So, I would say I'm a little bit more bullish than bearish on VeChain. I would say trade with caution. Definitely do your own research. There is opportunities to make some money here, but there is definitely a possibility for it to dip down. And then, of course, if we see the 55 cross my 200s, either the exponential or simplified, then we is in danger. But yeah, overall, I mean, I'm in VeChain for the long run. But got into the position 3-4 years ago or so. So I'll never sell out. But that's just me. But yeah, that's a quick one on VeChain there. A little bit of a hoping for other people who are in the space. We covered some good ones here with ETH, BTC, VeChain, and all. This is just another one of our technical analysis. But if you like what you see here, definitely give us a comment. We'd definitely like to hear what you all think about our technical analysis, what you think the market might go, which direction will go. If there's any kind of coins you want us to check over, comment. We'll definitely take a look at it as well. We can cover it in the next video too. Of course, please give us a like. Helps with the algorithm, so more people can notice our videos. Helps us grow. Comments and subscriptions. Subscriptions and hitting the bell notification also helps us as well. Definitely join us, the crowd, with the daily close here. And yeah, just make sure you do your own research, trade carefully. Let's make some money together, boys. And without further ado, may the pump be with you.
Let's do it. May the pump be with you.
May the pump be with you.
That's what I'm talking about. See you guys.